What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Carroll with Carroll's Corner MMA podcast. Tonight, I am joined by Nels Larson and Rich Cloudhammer. Ladies and gentlemen, hey guys, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
Can you hear me right?
Yeah, I can. I just didn't want to overspeak Nels.
Gotcha. Awesome.
What the fuck? This thing is
How you guys doing? Been a long time no see.
I know. How you been, buddy?
Been keeping busy. I know you had another magical night on Saturday night.
I did. It was a good night. It keeps getting wilder, man.
Now, Nels, tell us a little bit about where Rich is starting and where he is now, and tell us a little bit about that.
Well, so I remember Rich coming to our school when we were in Schenectady. Jay Rotter brought him in, who's a professor with Team Chicano now. But I guess Jay had talked to Rich while cutting his hair about, great place to come down. And, sometimes when people come in, you're just like, hey, this person fits. Or, hey, this person's going to stick around, but he's always going to be on the outside, whatever. Rich just fit in right away. And we had a cast of characters back then, which you still know some of them now, like Bob and Jarrell and that kind of thing. And our Schenectady school was pretty wild. We did a lot of jiu-jitsu, a lot of hard jiu-jitsu.
A lot of wall renovations as well.
Yeah, we broke a lot of sheetrock in that school. But it's funny because I said this to someone the other day. You could tell the type of people in the school now from where they started from.
Nels is almost embarrassed of our first class us. He's like, we're such miscreants, but
I now have lawyers, cops, all kinds of stuff. Back then, I'm pretty sure half of the money that came in was from illegal activity. So it was a cast of characters.
Well, theoretically, if Bob paid.
Yeah. So but like all those guys that came from that Schenectady school were dogs. You know what I mean? Like, and that's really when Rich,
Kyle Glasheen too was
Thor, all those guys. When Rich came to me, he's like, hey, and this was like a year ago. This is like mid-pandemic. Rich is like, hey, I want to take a swing at this thing. I had no doubt that he would do well. I don't know if anyone knew that we would be sitting here 2-0 in less than 3 minutes. You know what I mean? Like Rich is a tough kid. I mean, that's just no doubt about it.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that he wouldn't go out there and, you've been around enough MMA, Kyle, to see people punk out, for either don't show up. Rich had all the opportunity this past weekend. What it is, I'm just not making weight. It's a horrible weight cut. Most of it self-induced. But we got to a point where we were, I don't know, 2 hours out, and we were at 190 pounds.
Okay.
It stalled. You know what I mean? And it happens, man. I put Rich in Epsom salt baths and back into the sauna. We had Corey, who fights at super heavyweight, didn't need to be cutting weight. He was in there cutting weight. Al showed up for support.
Hayden Quincy.
You know what I mean? It was a team effort, and we made it, and but he could have easily just told, Slim, whatever, hey, either take me 190 or don't take me at all. And that was up to them. But he pushed through and we made weight, thank God. And
I think it speaks volume for the professionalism that you guys bring when you show up. You got to make weight. I think that's something that so many fighters just be like, it's not that big of a deal, and they just move on.
That's something that Al and I pride ourselves on. Is we run a very relaxed, structured school. You know what I mean? It's not going to be like, hey, Rich, you talk out of turn, go over and do 20 push-ups on your knuckles kind of stuff. That's just not who we are. It's not who we want to be. You know what I mean? If you want that, there's other schools to go to. But at the same time, we agree on a certain date, at a certain time, at a certain weight. We're going to show up and we're going to fight. And whether we win or lose, that's not really overly important. We all love to win. You know what I mean? But as long as he's trained and he makes weight and he shows up, does the proper medicals, blood work, the whole 9 yards, everyone's a winner that does this cage. Even the guy, Greg.
Jeff Carter. Yeah.
Jeff
Hats off to that dude. that dude went into the cage with a 5 or 6 year experience jiu-jitsu purple belt with multiple tournament wins on his belt, and that kid signed up, showed up on weight, and took the fight, came out swinging. You know what I mean? If you do this fight, if you do this fight game, you're not a punk. You know what I mean? You're not punching me in the face for free. You're gonna pay me. You're not doing that. For free. Hell no.
I look at the cost of admission. It's worth getting a punch in the face if I can punch somebody in the face, like for legally. Like that's worth it. I don't know. That's how I do it. Like it's fun. I don't know. But
now, Rich, take us through a little bit from your first fight to your second fight. Congratulations on this win. But take us through like the different mindset you might have had going. Because I know you said you were pretty nervous, and after you won, you kind of the emotions got you. Was there so much emotions in this fight as well?
No, I kind of I felt way more comfortable this time because I knew what to expect from the whole process. Like maybe that's what made me nervous before. Now, I'm comfortable. I'm gonna have to rewind a lot with this. Like the first time I remember stepping in the cage for the first time, I felt really calm and relaxed, and I didn't expect that. I expected to be like, oh my fucking God, I'm locked in a cage now with fucking another guy's gonna kill me. And I was like, this is just peaceful. And then this time I was like, I don't even give a fuck, man. Like this is just, I cannot wait. You know what I mean? I'm like, I just love being here. I love, I was really excited this time for the event and like the experience. Like, so kind of like real quick, the last time was a super dedicated, like year long, like Nels is like, if we're good, so I was like, I want to do this, but I'm like, I got to really focus on striking. I'm not like going to train grappling that much because it sounds a little arrogant, but at the same time, you have to I can do a year of grappling training. It's where I'm at in grappling. That's going to be a small increment in getting better, right? I can do a year in striking. My striking is at the point where there's such a deficit. You know what I mean? Like it's the early levels, like in a video game. Like levels 1 through 10 is pretty quick. Once you start going higher, it's like So I'm like, I got to start to focus on striking. Got my striking to serviceable. I think it's good. Above average. I think my striking is above average, and it keeps people honest for the most part. This dude came out like a fucking shotgun, so it's a bit different. But can I swear here? Sorry if beat me out if you need to. Anyway, the first one was just like, I was so focused. It was just like a long, long process of like, this goal has to be met. It's not about winning or losing. It's about letting the cage door close behind me. That's the success that I wanted. Got in there, turned out to be a really good night. Paul's a tough guy. It was a great night. Awesome. Loved it. And then I was like, I'm done. I'm kind of good. There's part of me that kind of want to do it again, but I'm like, what am I? I overachieved. I'm good. 1-0 is pretty cool. And then I went through some life changes recently. So that was like a really dedicated fight camp with paced out Will Berry. I cross-trained a lot. Trained a lot with Will, driving down to him. Did we talk about last time? Also, a lot of hours of Jacau, Combat Mule, etc. This time, I didn't really plan on it. I got a little chunky, and I was like, I was a little chunky. So, if you can't tell the difference if you bring up the fight from the first fight to this fight, I came in a little. So we were like send it, but Slim messaged me, and I was in Atlanta for an interview, and I was like, listen, I got a lot going on. I'm not going to play games with you. I'm not that guy who's like, oh, let me think about it. I'm like, just let me get through. This is a pretty big move. I think, I've got to figure out what I'm doing in my life, and I'll get back to you. And then, I don't know, the next day I was like, I thought about it. I'm like, I used to be really afraid of losing, but I'm like, who fucking cares? It's a pretty cool thing, but I'm like, the experience, it took me my whole life to get to this stage of being able to do this. I owe it to myself to make that walk again and experience selfishly the attention, the fun, the praise. You know what I mean? It's not that serious. This isn't the UFC. I'm not supporting my family. This is just fun. I like fighting, and people enjoy. I like to think people enjoy watching me fight. You know what I mean? People show up. I like my team. There's nothing like leading my team and being one of the leaders of the team and showing them this is attainable for anybody. If I can do it, man, I'm a fucking idiot. Like, I'm lazy. You know what I mean? Like, everybody knows me. Like, if I can get in there and do this, like, you guys can too. Because when it comes to it, I do train. Listen, we always say this. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not the hardest worker in the room ever. But I'm consistent. I will work a lot. Like, I'm consistent. I'm there multiple times a week, if not 4 or 5. Or I'm always in the gym, like lifting weight. I'm doing something almost every day. Unless it's a dedicated rest day, then I do active rest stuff. You know what I mean? Like cryotherapy, infrared sauna, red lights, things like that, stretching. Epsom salt baths, whatever. So like this fight camp, let's just say, like, and I had to get kind of a 5-week notice. I was a little chunky. I was going back and forth. I took a job in Atlanta. I go 1 week in Atlanta, 1 week in New York. So like we were all over the place, Went through some really major life changes. Left the job, new job, selling my house. My kids, getting them down to Georgia. Went through a relationship adjustment, we'll say, and it's sad. It's like a lot of emotions, you know what I mean? And then the weight cut was horrible. And there's something, I got sick like 2 days before the fight, it was just like, it always happens. You can't, like, that's the one thing I learned. Like, people say that in UFC, like, oh, fight camps always, you can't nitpick about little injuries and shit. It's part of it. But my shit was like really crazy. People reach out. I went through a lot, and I'm proud of making it and enjoying the night, and everything was great, And a couple other things happened too, but whatever, it is what it is. But this one I didn't take as serious. I want to say, like, not in a way of like I didn't understand. I understood there was a threat. It wasn't like that, as in I had more fun with it, if that makes sense. Like, when I say not serious, it's like I still the risk is there. Game opponent. He's a big guy. He's tough. But I understood what I needed more from this one. It was different, if that makes sense. Right now, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like the last one I was really like crossing every T dot and every out. This one we made sure we kind of worked on what we needed to in the time we could, and my diet got off fucking track. I was doing really well, and then my doctor had me take edibles to sleep, and I have a reaction. I don't know if everybody has this, but when I eat edibles, I fucking like to eat at 3 a.m. like a zombie. Oh man, it's a weird side effect. But so I started eating fucking granola and milk at I had one 5 bowls. It was like
3 days before I wake up.
And I'm like, I woke up. I'm like, oh, Nels, I fucked up. And he's like, what? And I'm like, well, the one day I was like, I'm just gonna eat rice and whatever. Then I'm just eating hammering white rice. I have a rice cooker, so I was just like hammering rice. And he's like, that's stupid because it holds. And Hayden's like, bro, that holds water. It's so. And I'm like, oh yeah, all right. So I'm like trying to that fucking stupid granola stuff. I took all drunk in my house, so I knew because I get like this. So I'm like trying to fucking snack proof my house, bro. It's granola, but it's a real fancy organic granola. It comes like a cereal box. You don't eat it like cereal, but I was eating it like cereal. Like, it was just I don't know, but whatever. So that was kind of my fault. Like, because I was like 197 at the beginning of the week, and I was trending downwards, and then I just stalled myself.
203 with 3 days before the fights. So we cut.
Oh, yeah, it's okay. I went back up. Yeah.
We cut 18 pounds in 3 days.
Yeah.
And none of, I say 3 days, none of that weight was cut in the preceding 2 days. So we cut almost, I think you weighed 197, 198 the day of the weight cut.
Yeah. It was really bad. It was my fault.
It was awful.
It was just,
I felt bad because I
had a lot of shit going. I have a lot of shit going on.
So when we made weight finally, we went up to Rich's room. I've never seen this before. I've been around. I've been at weigh-ins. I've refereed. Never seen it before. There was a gap between his eyeball and his eyelids.
Oh, I wish yeah.
I don't know what that is. I've never seen it before. We get in the elevator. I'm looking at him. He's looking at me. I'm just like,
my eyes were completely red. They were all blood.
Can I get off the elevator? I asked if we can get off the elevator because we couldn't figure out how to get the room key with the.
Stop looking at me. Like, stop looking at me.
Yeah, I was freaked out because I've never seen that before, and but I knew, even though Rich says it perfectly, he wasn't as dedicated for this fight camp as he was for the other one. But I think you found out that he didn't have to be as dedicated, only because, and it's nothing against either opponent. We had an ace in our back pocket. It didn't matter how hard these guys trained in jiu-jitsu in the next 3 months, you're never going to catch 6 years, right? Everyone keeps saying like,
absolutely.
you look at Kobe Covington and Masvidal. Masvidal's going to train at Penn State for 6 weeks or whatever. He could be there for 6 years. He's still not catching Kobe Covington
Mhm.
or Usman in wrestling. They've done it since they're 4. You know what I mean? You look at some of these guys like Kennedy or Corey Norman. Those guys have been wrestling for years. You're not catching them. So, we just have to make sure we don't get knocked out. You know what I mean? And even if you get clipped, right? Rich got clipped one. Rich got kicked the hell by
Paul,
his first opponent. Yeah. But we all knew unless he got knocked out cold, which is very hard to do in novice rules, right? Because there's shin pads, because you can't ground and pound. It's really hard to knock someone down to the ground and have a walk-off KO. So we knew that if he did get clipped, he had to go to the ground. And even a dazed and confused Rich, I still think has an advantage over someone who's only been doing jiu-jitsu for 6 months to a year, So I think the first match gave Rich the confidence that he knew that, hey, listen, and it wasn't for lack of wanting to train. Rich is 40, right? 40, right? Rich can't train every day. Right. We had someone in our gym and he's like, Rich is not training enough. I'm like, listen, Rich is a Model T, Ford. Like, you don't drive that thing every day. Right.
Yeah, wait. It was a 1970 muscle car.
My bad.
I'm not Al. I'm not Al out there. You know what I mean? Like fucking Bob cranking up the front to get Al going.
Listen, Al trained more than you did this camp. So what's
Al shows up, bitches, everything, and then
So we knew that there's days that work and days that don't work. It's just the way it goes. When you're over 40, you can't just show up every single day unless you're a genetic.
Absolutely.
And then unfortunately, some of the days that Rich could go, his work got in the way, or his kids got in the way, or whatever it is. So, but we knew we had, no matter what, we had that ace in our back pocket of jiu-jitsu, and it showed. His opponent came out like you said, like a shotgun, just boom, 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 right? If he doesn't get finished, in the first round. If you go to the scorecards, that's a questionable round, right? Because Rich doesn't, right? It's effective striking, effective grappling. Rich doesn't win effective grappling or effective striking in that match. Then you have to go see who's more aggressive, right? You can make that he was more aggressive as he was the one that was going forward. But you saw that really, and we preach this all the time, is I'm not a good striker, but I can throw a left and I throw a really hard right hand, right? I can be serviceable against someone who's a better striker than I am. You cannot catch up on the ground, right? And hats off to his opponent, because if you've never been mounted correctly by a jiu-jitsu player, right, where his hip bones are digging into his diaphragm, making it really hard to breathe, on top of getting punched, on top of the stress of being in the cage for the first time, and he tapped. Man, I've had plenty of super muscle-bound Marines, tough guys come in and tap the pressure. It is not a fun thing to be in. So that's why we really thought we were in good hands, even though we had a hard weight cut and really not the best camp, being the fact that we took the fight on 3 weeks or 4 weeks before the fight. So
we lost you, Rich. We don't hear you.
I knew that. I'm sorry. I knew that going into 5 weeks. Like that's on us. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
100%. That's on us. And it was good. It's like but I wanted to say, like, if I take a break from jiu-jitsu and come back, I will tap from that pressure because you're just not used to it. You get hit with claustrophobia.
Oh, absolutely. That pressure is a whole different level. It's same in wrestling when you're just constantly on top of someone and grinding on them. It just wears you out and burns you real quick.
I'm like
stress.
I don't have fancy jiu-jitsu. Like, I just do really bully jiu-jitsu where, like, it's just grimy. Like, I don't like seek submissions as much as just try to fucking wear you out and make you really uncomfortable until you make mistakes. You want to give up. Like, I was kind of like a half bread cutter too, from his shoulder, holding his shoulder, like, to keep him down and control. So I was kind of strapped to him, and then just like, a lot of people do like pitter patter punches on the ground to the ground because it's like, to the body, because it's just trying to get scored. I'm like, dude, I want to we're here to fight. I want to hear something break in there. Like I don't want my opponent to be injured too bad. But
no, I got
in that mindset, I'm like, I'm trying to fucking go through your ribs. Like that's what is like. I'm
yeah.
you know, like it's
You're
like,
not in there to be friends. You're in there to fight.
yeah, and that dude was fucking coming to try to take my head off. What?
There's also a fear that Rich hits the stool and doesn't want to get back into the fight.
That too, exactly, buddy.
There's a distinct possibility I have to call it for some made up reason.
Yeah, but he's, you know, so I mean, it just that guy. He was, dude. He weathered it. I mean, he came out strong. He took fucking. I have really good teep kicks, and that motherfucker took 2 of them. One was straight off, and then the other one was kind of I was moving backwards, but I hit him with it. He didn't slow down.
I hope he sticks with it. I think before he takes another fight, he should take a year, like Rich did with striking. Get familiar with jiu-jitsu. Get familiar with. He's like I say, he's not, you know, a bum or nothing like that. He just doesn't have the experience that Rich did.
With all the physical tools, man. He's a big guy. 6'3",
big for 185.
The photos, he looks like a big dude.
He's huge for 185.
Yeah.
Like I said, I hope he sticks with it. I hope he finds what he's looking for.
Now, what's next for you, Rich? What do you want to do with this next? Gonna continue fighting? Because now the shin guards come off, and you could ground and pound to the head. Thoughts? Another fight at Cage Wars 53 or 54? You're gonna wait a little?
See what's offered to me, I guess is the best way to say. And if something good comes along that I can wear as like an accessory all the time, then I will take it. You know, so I'm open to it. I was done, but I'm like, you know, if I can get a title shot, I mean, I have to take that. It's like, why go all the way to the finish line and not cross it? You know what I mean? Like that's you know, that's something I never thought I'd be able to achieve. And it's just something I would like to, why not shoot for, you know? I've already made it this far. Why not, you know? Other than that, but if I don't get that, I'm happy with everything. I mean, I never thought I'd be fighting in a cage, let alone fucking multiple times and doing pretty well, you know? I just love it, man. I think it brings attention to our school, to our other students who are better than me. I like to always say, like, I know a lot of people around here, so I bring attention just because I've lived here for a while. I just, you know, I'm pretty. I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm kind of a big deal. So, you know.
but it's funny. Rich and I talk every day. Like, and like we've even fooled with the idea of doing our own podcast with him being in Atlanta, and you know, I joked with him after his last one. I don't know if you ever seen the movie Men with Honor. Is that what it is? Men with Honor, the Cuba Gooding Jr. movie where he's the Navy diver.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. What movie though?
Yeah. So
like
in there, the
head
guy doesn't want him to pass. He's like, well, if he succeeds, everyone, you know, all the cooks and stuff, they're gonna want to be divers too. Rich has spurred that on in our school. I had people that I have never in a million years think they would ever be wanting to be a cage come to me and be like, yo, can you get me on the September card? Can you get me on the November card? And what's up, Chris? Chris hitting up. He just joined our school. But now, I mean, we're starting to run into like, okay, now we got 12, 13, 14 MMA fighters. Now we got to start thinking long-term. Before it was just kind of like, hey, in 4 weeks, there's a Cage Wars. Anyone want to hop on? You know, and we'd have 1 or 2 people. Now, I mean, I got potential. We're depending if we can get matches, 4 or 5 people on the next Cage War card. And that's with 4 people who are just starting their MMA journey. And that's a lot of that is spurred on by Rich, you know, showing my jiu-jitsu is good. Now I got to take a full year and just learn striking. You know, these people are like, hey, my jiu-jitsu is good. I need 6 months of striking just to get things going. And now we're starting to look at it as more of a professional type of camp where, hey, in the next 3 months, we're gonna get you in the best shape you've ever been in, right? Then we're gonna start working on the tools. You know what I mean?
Kind of changes the way you run your business, then, right?
It really does. You know what I mean? And we talked about it that night. Like, and it's my wife hates the day after Cage Wars because my phone does not stop ringing. It does it from people, from Rich and I chatting for 2 hours like 2 old ladies, or you know, people call me asking me how much it is to join, oh, we want to go train there. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure the other schools go through it too. But when you have a night where you have Rich at the age of 40 win a second match by verbal submission, Hayden with knockout of the night with the leg kick, and then Corey winning a title, people want to be around that. You know what I mean? So it's a lot to manage sometimes. People make fun of at least me all the time because I'm always like, hey, I'm gonna get new T-shirts in a month. I'll get there, but you know, it's a lot of behind the scenes that Al and myself have to deal with when we have a successful night like this. You know, and which I'm okay with it. You know what I mean? I'm not complaining whatsoever. It was a great night, and I have a new generation of fighters coming up behind these guys that are really, you know, ready to step in and start taking those 0-0 fights again and start building their way up. We had, you know, we had a night like this when we had Busky and Glasheen win USMTA super heavyweight and the 145 title. You know what I mean? And then those guys have kind of either gone on to do other things or, you know, busy doing other stuff. So, and then I brought in guys like, you know, Hayden and Rich, and now those guys are building way up to either title shots or close to title shots. So I got guys coming right behind them. So,
if people stop ducking Luis,
yeah, it's tough to get Luis a fight. So let's hope we'll get him a fight on the Tyson card, hopefully. And
but sooner or later, you guys are going to start. Like, I know majority of you guys are all on Cage Wars, right?
Yeah, I mean, I get hit up all the time from other promotions. It's just it's really hard to go to a different promotion. One, Cage Wars is a great promotion. I mean, they're doing great things. Their production value is great. Two, when I'm not working, I know the people regulating this as the third party regulation. I know that my guys are safe. I know that the blood work is checked on the other side. I know all that. You know, going to Pennsylvania, I don't know anything down there. You know what I mean? Also, too, I don't like to travel, really, to be honest with you. You know, who wants to do the weight cut that Rich did, going down to like flex fights and travel all the way down to the mid-level of Long Island, then do a weight cut, then fight? It's a lot. When
Nels and Al got us a sauna. They bought a real big infrared sauna for the school, so we can just cut there. Because we used to go to Vent or like YMCA and go all the way. Like you said, even going to Vent in Guilderland. You're from Long Island, right?
Yep.
So like Guilderland is like 25 minutes away. It's not a huge deal, but it's like, yo, like you said, go. Last time we drove back for the last fight, I fucking cut weight. Remember, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, why is that roadkill over the road? You're like, bro, that's a garbage bag. Like, what? I was hallucinating driving back, and I'm like, what the hell? You know? And he's like, bro, you okay? I'm like, no, I'm not okay.
So, I mean, yes, I mean,
like our school, real quick, our school, is literally 6 minutes from the casino, right?
Oh, it is that close.
I live fucking 13 seconds from the school, so I'm like, I don't want to fight anywhere else. I want to go to fucking school, cut weight, go to the casino, where they hook daddy up with some.
That makes sense. I get you.
Well, also too, it's funny when Tim for a while they was talking about fighting having at the other rivers, like at Miami and Chicago. I was like, dude, if you're paying for it, we'll go. And he's just like, why would I have you fight in Miami? It's just like, why would I put Rich, who sells a gazillion tickets, on a Miami card where he's gonna sell nothing? You know what I mean? So I'm like, fair enough, but I
don't know. Mamacitas might like what they see. You know?
Eventually, we are gonna, like, if we continue to grow like we are, eventually we will have to start to venture off because, you know, let's say Louise wins the 170 title. I have another 170 behind him. What's he gonna do? Not fight for a title? You know what I mean? I guess you can do the USMTA title, which is a nice perk of Cage Wars. But eventually, I'm gonna have to start taking fighters in different weight classes to different places. So
eventually, right?
But
you keep growing like this, like how quickly you guys are.
But you know, I have a really good relationship with Tim. You know, and you know, if we have, in fact, we had a couple guys who want to do grappling matches, a couple guys want to do kickboxing matches, but I always give him the first refusal. We're not bringing Corey to Miami.
No, bro. Corey and Schenectady is a fucking life-changing movies trip. I was like, I'm not even get into it, but Friday night was really fucking wild, man. I've seen a lot of shit in my day. Corey Quintana takes the fucking cake for probably one of the craziest people I've met in my life. Like, he is fun, but I'm like, bro, I gotta go home.
Kyle, just to give the general idea.
And I gotta go home. And can you please stop dropping strippers off in my room? So I'm trying to go to sleep.
we finished around 11:30, and I'm getting something to eat at Flip, like the burger place there.
Yep.
And I'm looking at our group chat. I'm seeing these things. I'm like, I gotta go home. I'm out. Peace. I make sure everyone's cool. Make sure no one's getting arrested. I leave. I go home. I go sleep. I wake up at 9 o'clock. These idiots are still at the casino, like partying, running around. Like I'm just like, it's amazing. But yeah, so back to the thing. Eventually, we will. Like for example, we're really lucky right now. We have a fighter for every weight class. We don't really have a lot of duplication. Cool. Even Corey, who's the super heavyweight champ right now, our goal is to defend and then move down to heavyweight, making way for to come man and compete for that title. Rich at 185. We don't have a whole lot of 185ers. I know a couple guys that talked to me tonight are 185ers. Louise at 170. I got a 155er coming through. Lasheen at 145. Bobby Angelo at either 155, 145, depending on what's going on when he gets back in. So it's we're really lucky right now. We have a large amount, but it's all spread out. But eventually we're gonna have to start getting some duplications. We're gonna have to start stepping outside our comfort zone and start going to other places. Mm-hmm. I would like to go down to Louisiana. We got a lot of
Louisiana was down there.
We have a huge Jacao network down in Louisiana, Mississippi. A couple of them run their own promotions down there. So if we're gonna go anywhere, we're gonna take a trip. We're gonna take a trip to see some family down there and see how we fare down in the South.
Nice. And you're talking about Corey. Corey had a big win over Malik Smith, right?
Yeah. Corey's a monster. You know what I mean? Like Corey's one of those guys that walked in the first day and be like, I want this guy. I want I think at the time it was Chaplin. Mm-hmm. He's like, I'll fight Chaplin. I'm like, bro, pump your brakes. Like, you know what I mean? Like you just got here, you weigh close to 400 pounds. You're not fighting anyone until you get down to an acceptable level. And then me and him had a heart one day, and I said, listen, you gotta get to he wants to fight heavyweight. And I told him I'm not putting him in there unless he weighs under 300 pounds. I'm not putting someone to do a 40-pound weight cut in 6 weeks. That's
not healthy for your body at all.
No, that's not. So, but he's down to.
I did it.
Hey, silence over there.
Yeah, listen. What was Corey 309 when he weighed in?
Yeah, because he's fucking a mutant and like wanted to sweat it out all day. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
so I mean,
I started at 210. I got to 185. You know what I mean? So it's 25 pounds. But
he's looking to be.
Daddy's back to 207, by the way.
Thick. Three C's.
Yo, so I wanted to say too. After the fight, I was like, this is what the 24 hours after the fight. So I'm like, I weighed 185 and fuck whatever. I wonder what I weighed that day, but like to cut you off, I was just thinking about this. Like, I ate General Tso's chicken with Corey Norman at like 1 a.m. Right? Woke up, met Nash out for burger fi, ate a burger and fries, then met a friend for sushi, and then went home and I kept air frying pierogies all night and ate a fuck ton of pierogies, bro. Like that's what it's 24-hour refuel.
We're coming for Corey Norman's 205 title. That's the secret. Buddy. We're going for the 205 belt.
Bro, what's funny, you look at me, I like we always joke about this because I'm like, I barely make 185 and I'm fucking giving up 6 inches to every time I fight somebody.
Yeah.
I'm like this short, chubby fuck. And I'm like, these other dudes are like tall Adonis looking.
We're fighting 170 for God's sakes, but those guys are monsters too down there.
Yeah, I don't want 170. 185 is cool because at least I have like some kind of advantage there. Like, 185 bucks. Fuck what Mende, Virouet, or Virouet, whatever how you say his name. I don't know. It's French, I think, but like, fuck that, dude.
But yeah, but shout out to Bobby Woodlawn.
Wow, baby.
Great. I hate pre-workout. It always tastes like shit. And his Dragon Blood pre-workout. That's
your blood. You fucking bad plugger.
That sounds awesome.
Oh, fucking the Blam Dragon Blood. It's so awesome.
By the way, Rich's next fight is against Sakiel. We already signed it.
That's the one. That is the one.
You better start gluing your head on. That thing might fly off.
That's what I said. I'm like, that's the one person I'll never. I'm not afraid of anybody. Well, no, lie. I'm afraid of people. Like, I don't want to be that guy. I'm not afraid of anybody. I'm afraid of people. I know my limitations. Like, I'll fight a good amount of people. That guy will fucking murder me. I ain't dealing with that.
Yeah. So back to Corey. Corey's like 309. He wants to be 285 for his next match. He just keeps mowing down the pounds. He works hard. He has a labor job during the day. He works security on the weekend. So, he's gonna be great. And, we also saw Speckar at the table.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw the
one of the most.
I missed a handful of the fights.
Yeah, Hayden finished his opponent with a left roundhouse kick to the head. Oof. And
night.
Yeah, man, and shout out to his opponent too. His opponent came and brought the noise too.
Yeah, he really did. The kid. I mean, he cracked Hayden a couple times.
Yeah, it's funny. Hayden didn't show it during the fight, but he told me afterwards that he clipped him in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But we kind of saw something in the striking in between the first and second round, made an adjustment, and Hayden has been working with Hakeem, our striking coach, for we took March off. We didn't do the March Cage Wars card. I felt like our guys were getting a little too in the I don't know what the word is. Basically, like fight 6 weeks, fight again, like not learning anything.
It's just too much of a routine.
You know what I mean? And
a lot of people forget that when you guys are in camp fighters, you're not really teaching new stuff. You're just refining what you know. And I do think I agree.
Good night.
I think it's important though that you guys. I like that move though, Nels.
Yeah, so we
guys time to learn.
We pulled out. We did. I told Tim ahead of time. I said, "Listen, we had a lot of fights that we let off the I think we should have won. You know what I mean? And I think we didn't take the time to train properly and get our ducks in a row. We kind of just rushed it because hey, we want that fight. We want that fight. Coming out of the pandemic, we trained for 7 months straight, 8 months straight of like training camp level training. That's what I mean. Like Kyle Glashin, worked with me a lot, and I think we just burned out. You know what I mean? And then, like I said, then we took the Kaler fight, and both fights. I think Glashin wins both fights. You know what I mean? And I just don't think we trained properly for those fights. And hats off to their opponents. They came and they executed. So after that, I took March off. You know what I mean? We didn't take it off. We were working, but we were just like, hey, and if you weren't in the gym, you weren't getting a fight. You know what I mean? Like, and if you got stuff going on, like Kyle's got school going on and so that, it's okay to put pause on it. We don't have to take every single fight that comes our way. You know what I mean? And like I talked to you before about how game guys are. I mean, Rich did not want to fight this card, and a fight came up, and Rich was like, "Okay, let's go." You know what I mean? And that's how Bobby Angelo is. That's how Kyle Glashin is. That's how Hayden is. All these guys, and including myself, that's the kind of person I was when I was an active competitor. It didn't matter how much I trained, how little I trained, how heavy it was, how much in shape I was.
You just want to get in.
There was a tournament coming up. I was in it. You know what I mean? I don't care. Like, I'm gonna suck it up, man. I'm gonna try and do my best there. And the worst person at all of this is Al. Al will literally be in the hospital for a neck surgery and competing 2 months later. You know what I mean? Like, we all have to be saved from ourselves sometimes, and that's why we took March off and from competition, and we got focused, and now we have the 29th that just passed, May 28th. We got Grappling Industries, and then July whatever is Cage Wars again. So I'm glad that Cage Wars canceled their June card because that was like too much together.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but now we're starting to look at September and November. I got, like I said, 5 guys. What's up, Bobby? Bobby Kilo in the house.
Bobby Kilo.
But I got like 5 guys who that said they want to fight. So cool. Now we're, like I said before, we're working on strength and conditioning. We're working on leveling up so they're where they need to be, and then we can go for these upcoming fights.
Awesome. So Rich, tell us a little bit about what Nels is like as a coach when you're in the corner between round. Oh, be honest,
I never made it to the second round.
Never made it to the round.
That's right.
Fights only even total 3 minutes. It's
crazy.
15 seconds.
Like this fight though, like you said, like he came out like a shotgun, clipped you a couple times.
Well,
what's
I think
going
Nels,
through your mind?
So let me rewind. Let me touch on the first question a little bit. I can help because like we've done a million jiu-jitsu tournaments together, so like that's helpful. And even like the coaching and like I'll just give you of like what he goes through with me is So we'll go to the technical part first. Nels is excellent at game planning. Like he's really likes like watching tape and game planning everything, and he does a pretty good job about that. I think a really good job actually. There's some variables you can't account for, but like you can just it's a good outline of what you should do. Honestly, half these fucking guys don't listen to it, and they should. I listen to it every time because it's like I listen to like Nels puts one together, and then people always tell you what they think, and like I train with Will, he puts kind of together, and listen, they're both analytical guys. They're smart. They come up with the same fucking game plan because they see the same things. You know what I mean? So it's like pretty. So, but I just want to give credit where it's due. Where like and Armando would come up with stuff when he was my striking coach too. Hakeem, even Luis, like this is what I would do. You know what I mean? Jarrell is like it's good. We have good guys in the thing, but Nels is obviously the fucking head of that whole thing. So becomes really good stuff. He's really good at everybody's personalities. He lets you be you, which is good. And then even as the training, like he knows how to motivate each person. Like I'm a fucking head case. Like there's a lot of things. Like I get therapists fire me. So like retire. The lady retired on me. She's like, I just don't know. I don't know what to do anymore. I'm just done. Like, I'm done. And she's like, I'm just done. I can't do this. She's like, I can't do this anymore. And now, hey, Nels been here for 6 years doing it. So like, maintain my psyche, and I've lean on that. And there's like, he knows my strengths and weaknesses. He knows my style really well. Like, so he knows what I would like to do, what I won't do. He doesn't ever make me try to do something or doesn't call for something I won't like. He knows I can't, or not. Whatever. Knows I won't like to do it. Well, that'll bring me out my comfort zone. And that's all. One, gym time together, but also we've done so many tournaments together. He knows what works for me, what doesn't, my tendencies, all that kind of shit. Like I said, I have a very simple game plan. I don't want to do anything fucking cute. Like if you watch that fight, I was just cross facing, fucking mushing. I got yelled at for mushing his face, like mushing and like bread cuttering and just bringing pressure, with my hips and stuff. Like that's what I want to do. And I'm trying to think. So like, there's that, and as a coach, and he's great. I mean, he's he checks in on you, checks on your mental health, like because he's a busy guy. He's got a lot going on. And if he's not in the gym, he'll make a phone call and just, hey, how's it going? How was today? Things like that. So that's good. We came with a game plan for this guy. What was going through my head when that dude came out? We knew, like, we game planned, like, this dude's going to come out. We're like, I know he's going to maybe be like a little bit okay. And like, once I get him hard, he's going to fucking just like step on a bee's nest. He's just going to come at me. There's no training for that. I'm just going to be real. It's like, I knew what to expect. I knew it was going to happen, and I followed our game plan exactly what we talked about. What I wanted to do was kind of like paw at him, strike him real hard so he knows how hard I can hit. And like he messaged me the next day. He's like, "Yo, my leg is fucking hurting." Because I hit him with if you watch the fight, the first thing I connected with was with Will Berry made me fucking practice a billion times. Fucking leg kicks to the thigh. You know what I mean? And I got it. I finally got it like down, and I fucking cracked him with it. And that kid said, he's like, as soon as I felt that, I just wanted to go because I'm like, that hurt. I'm not in the So then he came at me, and I'm like, all right, like our goal was to like step back, circle away from his power hand. He was faster than I thought, and I don't remember getting hit at all. Watching that fight, I was getting fucking hit, like because like I have pretty good head moves. You watch my fight with Paul. I'm good at like timing things, whatever. I can't time. Oh, am I getting kicked out here? Like
no,
I have a really, oh yeah, watching some arms being broken. Sure. So like it's hard. I don't know if you ever like in that situation, like that fighting style works great for like 30 seconds. You know what I mean? But the reason you do technical stuff is because you need to pace and find out over a course of, and so like, but I can't
that's so unorthodox and wild. I don't know where it's coming from. Like Luis is a much better striker than me, but I can slip some of his punches because I kind of know his pattern or what he's trying to do. Does that make sense?
No,
Like,
absolutely.
And listen, Luis, if you're listening, Luis beats the fuck out of me. We're not saying that, but I'm saying like there's a method to his madness for the most part. I can, this guy I started trying to slip and I'm like, bop, bop, bop. And I'm like, it just was like, I just got to get the fuck out of here. And then, I just wanted space. The idea of the game plan, I'm sorry I'm rambling here, but like the game plan was to get space and teep kick him. I have very strong teeps. This dude just started eating the teeps. And I'm like, okay, he's still coming forward because adrenaline, you know what I mean? He's not a normal fighter because he's just coming at me as hard as he fucking can. So at one point I just was like, I can't circle out of here. Like I want to, I just got to, I literally like countered it. I just fucking looked over my shoulder so I could protect my chin and see where he cut and just got the fuck out of there. I mean, I just started running away to give enough space where I can like readjust and see what the fuck is going on. That's when he came. He tried to grab me or something, and his leg was out, so I just fucking hauled him up and slammed him. And then once we got to the ground, I knew him. Like, if I get on top, like I did a knee on belly, just to, like soften him up a little bit because that shit hurts. Pull his head, and then
absolutely,
and then just like windshield wiper to mount, and then. Like that was like my go-to move doing jiu-jitsu tournaments. Like if I get mount, you're done. You know what I mean? Like it's just like I'm not getting off. You know what I mean? Like it's just theoretically. You know what I mean? Obviously, like, it works really
the
well.
dominant position. I feel like when you have that, you should be able to finish.
I have like super long legs. It's just like it for my side. You know what I mean? And I'm fucking chubby in the middle, so I get fucking that pressure. You know what I mean? Like it just like, and I got lanky arms, so and I was like I could hold the bread cutter while not losing pressure, you know what I mean? Like, and I can fucking reach back and hit pretty hard because I'm in a good position. So, that was our game plan. We followed it. It got a little chippy. Like he came in hotter than, I guess a little hotter than we thought. And he clipped me and that could have went bad. But like, I don't remember getting hit. I really don't remember getting hit, but watching the fight, I was like, oh fuck, that dude was
Saturday morning, he's like, dude, I didn't even get hit. And then Sunday morning, he's like, bro, I got punched in the face.
I got fucking, I was like, Sunday morning came around. I was like, oh, and that night I was like, my ribs hurt. I'm like, what happened? And I watched, Luis showed me his video. He's sitting next to my mom, like right near cage side. And I'm like, oh, that dude was fucking elbow in my back. He had me, that's like, oh, that's why the rib hurts. And my back hurts because I'm a fucking old man. And I picked a 200-pound man up fucking straight up and dumped him. You know what I mean? So I'm like, that's why my back hurts.
So on the coaching thing, like, we're really lucky at where we are. We don't have a lot of duplication of coaches where we are. Mm-hmm. I'm very big picture. You know what I mean? When it comes to, I'm also very easygoing because I'm putting you in this position because I know Rich can handle it. I'm not putting someone there who's like, biting their nails and whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
We also have a lot of coaches like Hakeem, who like is the best kept secret in the 518. He really developed Rich's teep kick to a lot, to a point where it's really super effective. Obviously, we had Kenny Pompey for a long time in our gym too, but he's kind of taken to the side right now. Al is my other half. He is the yin to my yang when it comes to being the disciplinarian. Like, people need that push. Rich doesn't need that push. You know what I mean? I think that's why Rich and I, even before he got in MMA, Rich and I have always been a great pair when it comes to coaching in jiu-jitsu. In fact, he posted it yesterday like an asshole. He turns around and looks at me when I talk to him during jiu-jitsu matches. And I'm just like, buddy, like, don't just listen. You don't have to.
I have the guy I have him in like a head triangle.
You got a reverse triangle.
Reverse triangle. Like remember, like I said it. Black Panther did it to Mbaka.
Yeah.
Remember in Black Panther when that's why we beat Mbaka with like the top triangle on his head. So I was like that. I couldn't finish it, and I'm trying like whatever. And I'm like, if you can see my legs, I'm like whatever. And Nels is behind me, and he's like Rich. I'm like, and he's like Rich, and I'm like. I met the guy with me, and I'm looking. I'm like, what? And he's like, your right hand. I'm like, right hand. He's like, where? He's like, go here. And I'm like, and he's like, show me. And the guy's like, down there, and it's just like, but I used to, like, I'm an ass. Like, it's just fun because, like,
but like I said, there are some people who connect with that, like Kyle Glashin in the Ellis fight. Him and I mean, Rich is 100% right about I'm very analytical. I pick up on patterns very easily. It comes from years and years of breaking down tape when I played in college and basketball. If there's enough footage on somebody, I'm gonna figure it out. We based this opponent basically on what we thought would happen, and like I said, to 85%, it was correct. We didn't think that dude was gonna throw punches straight down the middle, and like came straight through, took all kinds of damage to come get to him. So once again, hats off to him.
I thought he would wear down fast. I thought he'd eat one of those kicks or two of those kicks and be like, "Ooh, I don't know."
He did, man. He
and I'm like, "All right." Like I kept getting spaced and I landed the kicks. He just didn't give a fuck. And like, and I'm like, "All right, well, that's kind of changing the game plan. I got to." And you said like, our goal is kind of just circle away until we can get, if we need to, a grapple. Either he slows down and I can use my technique to beat him striking, or bring it grappling. And get him again. So
our goal was first minute.
Just
don't get knocked out in the first minute. Yeah. That's it. You know what I mean? And when we can dish it out. But if not, we'll go first minute. Same thing with Hayden. We had great game plan with Hayden and Corey. So that's why I do well. And like I said, and when it comes to people who need that kind of push, that's when we bring Al, and Al cracks the whip and gets them going through. And Hakeem is great. And then we have the best teammates in the world. I don't care what anybody says. Like I said, we had Corey cutting weight with us who had a fight and didn't have to cut weight. He could have been sitting outside with me, but he didn't. He was in there with us cutting weight.
Quincy's not even. I mean, he didn't even have a fight.
He's not active right now. Louise, we have great teammates that put themselves second to who has the fight coming up. But yeah, I mean,
bodies for us when we're in training camp.
Yeah.
Us, like they're. I mean, I would not even start naming everybody because I'm gonna forget somebody. But
it's huge. The number is huge.
You know what I like when you said you don't have a duplicate of coaches, and I feel one of the biggest like combatants to be people being successful is when they have like too many coaches, too many cooks in the kitchen, and they're all over the place. They're not on like the same page. And I've seen coaches before.
You look at Jackson Winklevoss, right? Jackson MMA was the biggest in the world. They had GSP, John Jones. They had title holders and everywhere. And then they brought Winklevoss. I forget. I can't remember the guy's name. But anyways, like you look at how many people are still there from who were there 3 years ago. It's nobody. There's only like 2 or 3 people. John Jones doesn't go anywhere. Cerrone isn't there. All those guys all left.
Yeah, a lot of them moved out.
Because you had 2 people that hit head to head. I'm not saying like Al and myself or Hakeem and myself or Hakeem and Al don't always see eye to eye, but we always project a unified front, and we always put the fighter first. You know what I mean? We listen to what they say we need to do better, like 2 or 3 times ago. Sometimes we listen a little too much. But when some of the guys said, hey, we need to do stuff differently, we gave it a shot. You know what I mean? But we, no matter what, we always put the fighter first, and that's the important thing. Because
pretty moody, so I make demands back there and start.
Oh my god, bro, he is so moody. He is a miserable asshole when he's cutting. But and someone like Al could easily but Al knows the bond Rich and I have, and you know what I mean. And Rich and Al will go help Hayden or whatever, and that's why we work well together. We know what is the best thing for the fighters, and that's what we're there for. I'm not looking to be famous because Rich wins a title. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I get you.
Do I want 5 to 10 new students off it? You goddamn fucking right. I want 5 to 10 more students off it.
Well, you know why I bring this up? Because I don't know if you guys watched Aljamain Sterling's last championship fight. And you got Ray Longo in the corner. Hall of Fame.
No Matt Serra though.
Yeah, no, I'm Matt Serra, but then he has teammates back there. You got Al Quinta and Bazooka was the one yelling. I don't know if Dennis Bazooka. He's a rising pro, and he's just constantly screaming, kind of over Ray Longo, and then after the end of the first round, I don't know if you remember, you hear bazooka. He like yells at him real quick.
Is he related to Bob Buskey by any chance?
Busky too? Wow.
Well, like, my thing is like, how just like as a coach, like you want to be able to get your instructions in. If someone's just screaming nonsense in there,
Literally.
that doesn't help. I don't see it helping.
So during my fight, Bob was in the stands because he only allowed 2 coaches in. Right?
Yeah.
During my fight, somehow he decided, he tells me that he knew I was looking for him.
Bob's a different character.
And got to the fence and was yelling at me to go north-south, and Ed Kinner fucking checked him. So he what did he call it? Horse collared him, basically, into a seat.
Yep. Passionate about his team.
Oh, and that's the man. One of these days, someone's going to make the wrong move with one of our teammates, and they're going to deal with the full wrath of Bob Buskey. And I won't be there, or Al, or someone won't be there to calm Bob down, and someone's going to get hurt seriously. But you know, but that's what we love about him. I mean, can it be a bit much sometimes? I'm sure for the regulators, yeah, absolutely. But when you walk through that curtain, there's 40, 50 of our teammates going crazy like that. That's what we're about. You know what I mean? That's what we're bringing to. Just to touch on the Aljamain Sterling thing, I do not like the fact that he dumped Matt Serra out of his corner.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is. I don't even know if Matt really is I can't really speak on it, but like I don't know if he's coaching as much as he used to. I think he's kind of taking
because according to the interview he gave last year, it's because of that is the reason why he's not in many people's corners anymore.
Because of people yelling?
Because Aljamain Sterling went a different way. He started doing half his camp in California rather than Long Island. And he basically, you know, I guess Matt Serra was getting ready to do, you know, corner, and they're like, hey, no, you've been replaced. You know what I mean? It's just like
crazy.
Man, that's not like a 1-0 MMA guys. I'm using a different corner. That's a guy that coach you from the beginning. You know what I mean? Yeah. And Richie and I both have a huge thing about loyalty. And I don't know, to me, that's kind of, to me, and who knows? I don't know. I'm not inside the camp. I don't know what's going on. But I think that is just not the cool thing.
No, I don't disagree with you. But speaking of coaching, and you're also a referee, Nels, and a judge and everything else, I wanted to show this from the fight and just get your thoughts on it from like a coaching perspective. Like, because I was talking to someone and they kept saying, the kid's like, I didn't tap. But you're an amateur and you're not even
we could talk a lot about that because the drama we were in
their locker room.
Yeah.
And
fucking idiot.
I had a huge issue with his coach coming back and touting that his guy did not
My boy doesn't tap.
What camp was he out of?
Fucking Jerk Off Incorporated. Who knows, dude?
Rich, we're working on not causing so much internet drama.
Dude. But yo, that guy came back bragging, and Bob goes, "Thanks. Your fighter fucking sucks and ruined the rest of our night." It's like, and you fucking suck for letting him not do it. I'm like, it's Bob. Bob gave that guy an earful till he eventually left the room. Because what happened was, I'll take over from here for a minute.
Yes, Michael McQuirk. Sorry if I screwed up your name.
I agree.
100%. You know, or just fucking tap. You're that kid. You force the fighter to do something he didn't want to do. Nobody wants to. I mean, that's a traumatizing experience. We all say we want to hurt somebody. Like, you don't want to break somebody's fucking.
No, that could end his career.
Yeah, that guy's. And look, you're so tough. Your first.
He has a dislocated shoulder and a broken whatever that bone is. Right
I don't know anatomy, but like, now you're done for a year, bro. You can't work. You can't fucking hold your kid. Like, you can't drive. Cool. Wow.
All for an amateur. Like, so it must have been one of, like, he only could have fought twice the most because the guy
won. No, it's his first fight. So that's what I made a joke. Bob yelled at me my first fight where I was like, yo, I made a Facebook post. He made me take it down because it's not tough. But I was like, yo, just let everybody know. I'm not the guy who's saying, oh, let me die in there, go out my shield. No, if you see me in danger, fucking storm the fucking fence, get me out of there, bro. Because I don't want to, this joke. I'm not here. Listen, I want Tim to make money. I want everybody to be entertained. But, like, I still want to go home and fucking look pretty and hold my kids. Like, I understand there's a risk here, but, like, that could right there. You're an idiot. So anyway, why it's frustrating was because I was up next to lead to go out, right? We were all lined up. And if anybody who's ever fought, you understand this or done something, whatever fuck, competed, if you're waiting, that anticipation kind of sucks, even for anything. You know what I mean? So you are literally having to get warmed up, cool down, and pee every fucking 38 seconds because your body's hitting the anxious response type thing. So like we're doing all that. Then we finally get to like you hit like the crescendo of like fucking I am ready. I'm going to fucking go fight somebody. Awesome. We're there. My guys are with me. I'm pumped up. Let's go. Does anybody have my mouthpiece? Because I keep asking that. So I'm like, yeah, right. And then oh, sorry, we can't fucking fight because some jerk off fucking didn't tap, broke his arm. Now the ambulance has to leave. Who knows when the ambulance is coming back?
You had to wait for that freaking thing.
Yeah, the 1,000 people, 2,000 people in the audience have to fucking wait. People at home they're like, what the fuck happened? You know what I mean? So the ambulance goes, you don't know if it goes 30 minutes, an hour. So you have to kind of just
I've been to events where that happens.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Exactly.
And I can only imagine as a fighter, you're ready to go out there. You just warmed up, and now all of a sudden, boom, you got to start over, cool down, start up again.
Yeah, and it's just like and it's. But I like bragging about this because whatever. Like Jay Engelson took my pulse before we were going out, and it was like 70, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck, bro. I'm good.
That's clearly on the corner's fault.
Yeah,
my
to be
job.
Honest, I'm shocked. Was it Big Dan? Who's the ref? Big Dan?
No, that was
C word, whatever.
the other guy. Man.
At the same, no, the guy was like right there monitoring it.
Yeah, he was on top of it.
You know what? If I could see that if it's a quick submission, whatever, I could put my daughter in a Kimura and she could touch the back of her head with her arm. You know what I mean? And it's not going to break. Whatever. Some people have that crazy flexibility. It's not like the arm was fully extended and could have popped any second. You just don't know the flexibility of people's arms and shoulders and that kind of stuff.
Bones.
If he stops that fight, they are booing him out the building.
Oh, agreed. I mean? Yeah, you're 100% right, Nels. And he stops it, they're going nuts.
And I would defend that referee to the top of the hill if he stopped that fight because it's his call whether or not he thought he was in danger. How many really bad Kimuras have you seen that has not ended in a broken arm or a dislocated shoulder?
Tons.
There's thousands of them. Thousands of them.
Yeah.
So you can't put that on the referee because you just don't know.
No, not at all.
Go whatever. You put that on the coach 100%. That he should have saw that and he should have said, you know what? This is his first fight. We're done. Plain and simple. He should have known that his fighter will not tap. I have a handful of people in my gym that I know for a fact will not tap. In fact, one of them was Quincy. He jacked up his whole shoulder because he refused to quit. You know what I mean? But you got to protect your fighters. You know what I mean? And
I agree 100%.
And that's on the corner. And I've said it for a while. I think we have training in ABC for referees, for judges, for medical staff, whatever. I truly believe the state should be having
requirements for coaches,
classes where you learn how to wrap someone's hands. You should know the signs of distress during weight cuts. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. I've said it a couple times too. A couple people, and Todd Anderson is now the head of MMA in New York. And he's a referee, former referee, I guess now. But you see Ed Kinner does a great job of looking at people because I think he used to be a former paramedic or whatever. He punched some people off of fights because they come from a really bad weight cut and they look like worse than Rich. Can't remember the guy from Brian Bury's that he took off of a card.
It's weird though, bro. Like, I bounced back so quick. Like
did.
as soon as I started eating
those cheeseburgers and crap.
Yeah,
I don't get
Listen, we cut everything except for the granola that was in his stomach.
Well, okay. When I started fight camp, I discovered like butter on Pop-Tarts at like 3. So I was eating butter on Pop-Tarts like every fucking night.
Mayonnaise on blue tortilla chips.
That's so good. I eat weird shit, right? So I eat weird.
That's some weird shit. Butter on Pop-Tarts? Like what?
Try it.
It's like peanut butter on. Oh man,
bro.
Dude, try the butter on Pop-Tarts. You're gonna be like, "Oh, this dude's onto something."
Yeah. I'm gonna pass. I'll be like diabetic in the morning if I do that.
bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, you end up with a really bad weight cut. That's what you end up with.
That's what I was at 210, and I'm like, you know what?
Richie's if
I
Richie
think
takes
these edibles
another
were a little too much for it.
That's what's
fight,
happening.
if Richie takes another fight, he's moving in with me for 6 weeks, like Dolce.
Those just locks in the cabinets.
I'm just eating all the food for him.
I have a good. I eat. I have a good diet. Like I don't fuck around. I'm like above average. I mean,
Except for when he's high at 3 a.m.
When I'm high at 3 a.m., it all falls the fucking part, dude. Like it's like, yeah. That's the problem.
Yeah. So back to that guy's arm.
I'm just curious your thoughts on that.
I was the referee. I would not have stopped it. I wouldn't blame if they did.
Bob harassing him back there was the best thing.
I thought
to be cool.
Could turn on punch Bob, and that probably would have been the worst thing for him. But it was distasteful as a coach to come back and brag how your fighter did not tap and then his arm broke.
I don't know what you're bragging about. He lost and he broke his arm or his shoulder.
Listen,
so it's a double whammy.
And unless he's a real jerk, you know, if Rich dislocates his arm and breaks his arm, I'm in the hospital with him the entire night. You know what I mean? That's my guy. Absolutely. I'm staying with him the whole night. So now you've ruined the entire night. No Van Slicks, no cheeseburgers, no whatever. Like you've ruined the whole night. No
Quintana strippers. Like,
yeah,
Quintana's angels. Quintana's angels don't show up. You know, I mean,
and you ruined your athletic career for a year.
At least
more.
I broke my arm last year from a car accident, right? Like I technically didn't get
cleared. That was a retard move too.
Yeah, that was stupid.
I'm not supposed to use the R word. I'm sorry, but yeah,
that was stupid. But I was saying, stupid move. So I got a car. It was like 60 miles in my brand new car, and I was in the.
You have a butter on Pop-Tart and slip out of your hand?
No, I was talking shit to Andre as he was going in, and I turned around and I hit the fucking lamp post, and the airbag went off and snapped my arm. So. Like 5 miles an hour, but like I didn't get cleared until 3 weeks before that fight that my arm was healed. You know what I mean? But I was still fighting and lifting and stuff. Like it was whatever. But like, because it was like it was solid and just like you could every time they X-rayed it, you could still see it wasn't totally connected.
Totally, yeah.
And we had to like protect him during grappling. Make sure.
Oh, bro, I had it wrapped up like crazy.
No one tried to arm bar that arm, which you know, what I mean, it was tough. But
I caught a head kick from like Bobby Angelo, I think, threw a head kick, and I like, bah! And I'm like, I'm going to go home right now because I think my arm just re-broke.
We thought we broke it again. Yeah. That was...
And, but yeah, it's like, whatever, that's stupid. But like, I had a goal and I knew it was healed enough. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And,
I think the biggest point is just like, I don't think youngins realize how important it is to not get injured on the amateur level.
Yeah.
Or at least a serious injury. Like, you know, ACLs happen every now and then. That sucks. That's 9 months recovery plus some.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, to go in there and get, like, something like that, you just tap. Well, you know, come back another day. No one gives a shit in the amateur.
If I get a Kimura, like, I know the damage that, and I'm saying this for everybody, like, I as in the royal, everybody, like, you do this, you know the damage that can cause pretty fucking quickly. So you kind of bring it back to cause pain. And then lock it there where it's causing pain but not snapping.
Yeah,
and everybody kind of does that. They don't just fucking torque it all the way. They bring it back to it's like, oh, that is unbearable pain. I'm giving you a chance to tap from this. I'm not breaking your shit.
You
is there damage being
caused? Right before it pops?
What's up?
You just lean it there, so
right before it pop. You kind of like Nels said. It's hard to really gauge it, but you can kind of tell from their body language and the resistance. So that's what that guy did. He had it there for a while, like given that you give your opponent a chance to be like, dude, tap, like get the fuck out of here. Like you're locked in. Once you get a Kimura in like that, you're just not getting out. It's just, you know what I mean? Like I was an idiot because I had really flexible shoulders, right? So during training, because we
says bye-bye to those.
Yeah, we trained like fucking animals over there. So I'm like, I'm not tapping either. Like I didn't get it either. I was a white belt. We didn't, it was kind of stupid, and I would let it go too far. Now it's like. It never far enough to pop or anything, but I'm like, oh, I can fight, and because sometimes I can fight out of it. You know what I mean? Looking back now, like that was stupid because the micro tears on my shoulders have now healed the scar tissue, and they're not as flexible as they were. You know,
so if you watch that fight too, when he puts the hand to the back of the head, there's no way he didn't tear some tendons like Richie's talking about in his shoulder. Mm-hmm. The reason why the arm broke is as far as I could see is when he regrips and he changes the angle
Yeah.
where the fist is by the shoulder blade here. That's where the arm breaks.
Yep.
That, like I said, he could have put that arm right back to the back of the head, and the guy's shoulder would have still been jacked. But the reason why it broke is because the angle changed, and boom.
I don't even know because I mean, if he torqued it the whole way, that would rip his shoulder right out, all the labrum and everything.
Yeah, I was told it was dislocated.
His
Yeah,
shoulder definitely dislocated when he goes to the
as well.
No, it's
he goes to the post, and his shoulder just falls right out of joint because he probably had no more tendons left.
Yeah. That dude's fucked. Like, that's fucked.
I guarantee you, he needs surgery, probably a pin in that arm.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's done for at least a year.
Mm-hmm.
At least a year. Yo,
But
right there, when he got snagged, I would have I feel like you're done. He's got his legs wrapped around your body. You can't move.
And that's inexperience too. That's grappling inexperience. You should know when you're done and just give up. I mean, it's okay. There's no harm in it. Like, there's no.
Watch this. When he puts his arm down right here and falls down. Watch.
He looks like the Terminator when he's crawling out of the lava.
Oh,
remember when the Terminator's crawling out of the explosion in Terminator 1? That's what he looked like.
Then you got Will Barry right there calling the fights with Dane
the man.
Who's the new commentator guy? Because he looks like he's about ready to throw up when he saw that.
Yeah,
I don't have a clue who he is.
You can tell he hasn't seen many grappling injuries like that before.
Oh yeah, that will definitely make you sick if that's the first time for you.
My wife and daughter were in the crowd, and they said it sounded like an oak, like
yeah. And like what for what? Look how tough he is. Oh wow, that dude's so tough. Get the fuck out of here, bro. That's not tough.
Nels, you know what you said I liked is I feel like the trainers should, like, and if you're in the corner, you should have some sort of certificate of like certification. Like as a football coach in the high school level, wrestling coach in the high school level, I have to have certifications. I have to have my first aid, my CPR. Plus, I have to take a concussion course, and then I have to take make sure you have a course on the sport that you're talking about. I think that's something like I know they're adults here, and I'm coaching high school, they're children, but like. For the safety of the fighters, like whether you're in the gym or at the event, I think that's something that should be implemented for the fighters for their safety.
You know, and it really would not be that hard. Like, for example, I've never fought an MMA fight ever. I've never fought a kickboxing fight ever, right? What I've learned is it's a weird experience, but what I learned is obviously grappling. I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu. But I've reffed or judged or been around so many fights now that it's weird how much you pick up being 2 feet from the actual people.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? And with that comes I think I have 500 rounds of refereeing and like 400 of judging or some crazy number. Like there's not much I haven't seen yet. You know what I mean? And you can start to figure things out. The reason why that cornerman did not know to throw a towel in or stop the fight or whatever is because he doesn't know where Kimura is, most likely. He doesn't know how much it hurt.
That guy didn't seem like to know what the fuck was going on.
That was his cousin, according to what he said.
That explains it.
So right there, that's the kind of thing that, you know, talked before about like how tough Rich is and how tough Hayden is, how tough and they're not smart about their own well-being. You know what I mean? There's some times where I've had to tell people like, hey, listen, let's stick a pin in it. You know what I mean? It's pause. You know, because there is you know, you're doing damage to yourself. And when you're a warrior like all these guys, everyone on this card, including this kid that broke his arm, straight warrior. I understand that. It's beyond, and that's why I don't put a lot of blame on the kid because you know he's like some other kid. It's a dumb.
He's young and he doesn't want to give up.
Yes, it's 100% dumb. But me as a coach, and I have different levels of this, right? I know Rich is 40. Rich has 3 kids. Rich has a job. You know what I mean? He's not going pro in this. Well, not yet, anyways. We'll figure that out. I want my cut.
He's 60 turning pro.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like. Rich needs his arms. Like he can't have his ACL torn. Like he needs to function. You know what I mean? Compared to someone who wants to take a shot at this as a professional athlete, it varies. either way, you get in that position at amateur level, you have to throw the towel in. You know what I mean? And in order to be a judge and a referee, I had to correctly identify 15 submission holds, or something, or 20, whatever it was. I mean, for me, it's a piece of cake. But you need to know that in order to be a referee. Why? Right? It's not so you can make the run down to at the end of the day. It's to know where
identify it
is and be able to stop it when they tap. Right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it goes into where you place your hands when someone is on an arm bar and they tap, because the guy in the bottom is not stopping until you pull them off of them. So
yeah, it's the anticipation. Like know what's going on, so you're ready. You end it, and you keep everyone safe. It's the anticipation of it.
And you see the good refs rarely are out of place when it comes to submissions. The ones you see who are out of place don't understand the submission game, and that's what I always thought was the strong point of mine, was obviously when it goes to the ground. Like I hate when I referee, if I can get one to go to distance or get a tap out, I'll take that any day of the week rather than stopping a guy by strikes. It's the toughest part of the game. But if we, I know how the knees work, the ankles work, and stuff like that. You put my fighter in that position, I'm throwing a towel in. I don't care what it costs. Mm-hmm. But we're in this culture where Deontay Wilder fired his coaches because they threw the towel in. You know what I'm saying? Like he got rid of his whole coaching staff when they tossed the towel in versus Fury, and that's craziness. They're just not looking for your. Do you think those guys didn't want an extra $4 or $5 million purse for winning?
I was just about to say that. Like, I agree with you 100%, but that's the difference. Unfortunately, is that money where it comes to it. Now, props to them, like you said. Of course, they want more money in the hopes that he gets a knockout. But clearly, he's not doing that at the moment. So you got to protect him to live another day.
Yeah.
Like, you come back, you fight another day. There's plenty of fighters that have lost and come back. At the end of the day, if you lose one fight,
every fighter but even Corey Norman.
I mean, I'd rather be Rich pissed at me for stopping a fight rather than have his arm broken and his shoulder.
I won't ever give a fuck. Are you kidding me? If I'm in the position where I'm like, get me the fuck out of there, bro. Like, seriously. If by the time if you're throwing in the towel, it means I would have wanted the towel thrown in 30 seconds before that.
If I throw in the towel, that means you used the safe word pineapple before.
Yeah, exactly, dude. I want to. Let me retract too. I was a little harsh on that kid. I guess you guys are right. Like, I apologize. He's an idiot, but tough kid. I mean, I wouldn't.
Unexperienced person.
It's inexperienced and not trained properly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what it comes down to is it's him being experienced, his coach being inexperienced. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I've made some questionable calls as a coach early on, what I call like the pre-current days of allowing fighters to go in that were not ready, allowing fighters cut corners, that kind of stuff. Now either you're ready or not. You know what I mean? Your safety is my number one priority. Winning is a distant second.
Well, I know there's a female fighter on Long Island, and she was banned pretty much from fighting, suspended indefinitely, because she's like 0-6, 0-7, but every loss is like a knockout, and just an absolute brutal knockout where her she's become a bobblehead almost, where it's like, at what point do you say, all right, this isn't for me? Like, I get you enjoy getting in there and competing, but at what point do you say, this isn't for me on a competition level, but I can still train and enjoy it and
the key word there is competition. Yeah. Competition means two people on the same level. They're not competing. You're putting yourself out there to cause damage. You know what I mean? And that young lady is going to pay for it in her 40s and 50s.
Yeah. Your hand, I think, on the mic there, Rich.
Jesus, I always do that on my fucking phone. Thank you very much, Kyle, for being good producer as well. So there's some people around here. We don't have to say names, but we know who they are. Like, who do that? They just show up to get knocked out within the first 30 seconds. They don't even put up a fight. They throw an overhand right or a little scramble, then dive down, and then bitch about it being stopped early. You know what I mean? So it's like they just want I mean, it is a drug, man. There's nothing like it. I guess.
Oh, I'm sure the adrenaline to compete. Anyone who's competed in a sport where it's either one-on-one, there's nothing like it, especially with physical contact.
But like you said, the health and safety. At what point did somebody cross the line? Like, bro, like, you don't want to tell somebody don't chase your dreams, but I mean, if they're not, I mean, if you're fucking 3 and 12, you have to understand they're unobtainable. You know what I mean? You're not going anywhere with those.
And a lot of that goes on the coach too. I'm sorry, anyone that's putting in a fighter at 0-6.
Most of those dudes don't have coaches. It's just
I know it was a few years ago. Bellator tried to put someone on the undercard, a pro fighter that was 0-12, and Eric Cowell from My MMA News got it stopped because it was just out of control.
Yeah,
I keep kind of put the word out there, like, what the hell's going on?
There's some people like there's a guy who fought in the recent card who I actually think he's talented. He just has some health issues. Like he just lost his last couple fights, but like he's competitive in each of them, even though they're under the first round. And this last one was a health type thing that had to stop. But it's like, let somebody like that keep going because he's pretty competitive. He's not getting like KO'd, knocked out.
Yeah, it's a little different, I think.
What?
There's no damage to the
There's
guy.
no damage. I'm saying, like once he figures that stuff out and commits to a camp, he'll be good. So it's like, it's not necessarily the record, but like Kyle, you touched on it. Like she's getting her head rocked back every 0-6. Mm-hmm. Like there's brain cells just coming out of her ears at that point. You know what I mean? Like
absolutely.
So it's all subjective. It's like they have to be looked at by like people like Ed Kinner. That's why this is a cool organization to fight for because they're very. I got people watching me peak. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like. Usually I got to pay for that.
Not getting paid for it either.
I'm joking. Yeah. But like, it's like, you know what I mean? Like they take it fucking seriously. Like, and they take their jobs very seriously and it's awesome because it's safe. Cage War's awesome. Like the fucking production value is almost bar none amazing. You know what I mean? Like the pictures look amazing. The people watching at home, they're hitting like 50,000 viewers. I mean, they're fucking hitting up, things are getting crazy, like it's like, it's cool. It's like, there's other ones out there which I'm not hating on it, but it's like, some shitty gym somewhere and it's like fuzzy. You can't, and that's cool. But it's like, if I can fight if Cage Wars invite me to fight for them, I'm going to fight for them. And I don't have to travel. Like, if I was in a different area,
absolutely.
Maybe but like, but it's just that the safety is cool, and then they take it seriously. Like they match make pretty close. You know what I mean? Like they don't make super mismatches,
Yeah, it's been a real long time since a Cage War card that was top to bottom just mismatches. You know what I mean? And you can always run into that because, like, we didn't know about Rich's person. He could have came out and took one hit and hit the ground, or he could have been like Jesse Crozier when we fought him with Quincy Epstein. Jesse was a dog. I mean, he that was fight of the night. Those two beat the hell out of each other. You just don't know when you're an amateur fighter, and that's 99% of the fights you're going to get on any amateur promotion or 2 fights and less, and you just don't know who you're going to get. But Cage Wars has done a wonderful job of limiting the independent fighter.
I was going to say everybody on that resembles somebody. It looks like a mini UFC. That makes the best way to say it. Like people know what they're doing. Like when they get
from camps, they're coming from
legitimate
trainers.
I don't want to keep harping on that guy, but like most people know the tap from that to everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they're not just like, I remember old style. This shit was like tough man shit. People just come out and start just windmilling. You know what I mean? They be exhausted at halfway through round 1, and then just 2 dudes who can't breathe for 2 more rounds. I mean,
you would also drink 20 beers before you go in.
That too, yeah. But look. I mean, even fairly recently, Travis Streeter and Patrick Ferrari, 2 fucking super heavyweights, went 3 rounds thrown volume. You know what I mean? Like, that was probably 2 years ago now, 3 years, but I guess it wasn't that recently. But regardless, I'm saying like Cage Wars puts competent people on there. But
even right there, that's Dragon MMA versus at that time MVMMA, right? Mm-hmm. We fought, MVMMA a bunch of times. Brian Fury's, Bruno's. You know what I mean? Like these are quality camps. These are not guys that Tommy Marcelino, Brian Beery. NVMA, drawing blank right now.
RGL.
No, their head coach.
Duff Holmes.
Duff. Thank you, Jesus. Duff. You know what I mean? Like Duff's not putting up with crap. You know what I mean?
No, not at all.
Brian definitely is not putting up with crap. Brian's a super strict guy.
I'm going to preface this saying I absolutely love Duff. I don't think I would survive MMA.
That's why Rich is with me. Rich wins.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, that dude he's amazing. You know what I mean? He's a great coach. It's just like he expects certain things from people.
But that's what works for him. But that's why we love fighting MMA.
Mm-hmm. Every MMA person comes and they fucking bring it every fucking time.
And they're always on weight, on time, ready to fight.
And you know what I love about them? They travel in a pack too. Like you see the team.
They're very much
similar to you guys. Yeah.
Yep. And all cool. I've never really ran into anyone from MMA or Brian Buries or, you know, I mean, they're real jerks or, you know, I mean, come unprepared or whatever like that. So, you know, shout out to those guys for doing a really good job.
Before we wrap this up, Rich, what's one thing about you that nobody knows and you want to share? Nels is coming for you next.
Oof.
I don't know. I'm kind of an open book.
It doesn't have to be MMA related. It could be anything.
Oh, I'm kind of an open book. Like, so I don't know, man. There's a lot of things. Some of the things that people don't know about me, they ain't gonna know about me.
I have an NDA, so I can't really go into it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. That's a hard question.
As his part-time therapist, we have client-patient confidentiality.
I don't know. I really like fantasy books. I guess that's kind of weird.
Fantasy books, all right.
Yeah. Oh, I have an allergy to milk protein. I don't know.
All right.
I'm on multitude of mental health drugs. I don't know. Got a lot going on.
Sounds good. Oh, and by the way, for those who don't know, Cloudhammer is not Rich's real last name. Even though I just found that out like
couple shows ago. Outed you, by the way. Did you see that?
What's that?
Richard Cloudhammer on Topology. Now it has your full name with.
I know they put my real name as your
nickname.
You're like, oh shit, it's not Cloudhammer. We gotta change it.
And then somehow, Rich is ranked 22nd in the Northeast, but only 27th in New York, which I don't know how that's possible.
I don't think
some of those rankings are all jacked up. I always try to do like some sort of rankings, but the amount of people that come and go, it's so hard to keep track of. And then some guys won't fight for 2 years or a year, and then they're back. It's hard to keep track of rankings, that's for sure. Like a lot of those guys that guaranteed aren't even active.
Yeah, 100%. I tried to make a list of like who's even eligible for the 185 title the other day, and I'm like, I don't know who the fuck's anymore. The Shoop went down to 170. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, did he really?
Yeah, he just fought at 170.
Oh, that's right.
I know he wasn't successful though, right? At
no, yeah, I don't know who he fought.
I think it was Daniel Keepers. He's a tough dude.
Okay, yeah, I know he was a guy been humbled, but yeah,
Shoop's a great kid too. Shout out to him. I talked to him for a while about his knee injury. He was supposed to fight. Hey, but shout out to Rookie Randolph. I've never met that dude. We had a good time in the back. He's supposed to come out to Team Chicago, New York, and get some work in.
I told him that today. I said, "Come stay with me, man. I got fucking empty rooms right now. My house is cleared out."
Yeah.
There you go. So Nels, what about you? What's one thing that nobody knows?
Oh, maybe you forgot.
No.
You know, I think something that not a lot of people. I mean, obviously, like Rich knows 99.9% of everything about me. We share pretty much everything. But I think something that would be surprising is that having kids made me into a bit of a softie. I mean, I was never one to get emotional about stuff. About, you know, Rich cries at the drop of a hat. If he wins a gumball machine, Rich cries.
I wear my emotions on my sleeve, man. I can't help it.
And for me, it's family, and it's, you know, my kids. Even like the smallest little things get me going, and which is it's awesome, man. I love having my two kids. They can drive you nuts, but you know, both my kids are active in sports. Both my kids are active in jiu-jitsu, and it's pretty cool. So like these guys always, you know, they're always getting into stuff or whatever like that. I'm just like, man, just let it go. You know, I mean, I got two healthy kids at home. and it's like what so many people get just tore up about the littlest shit.
Oh, yeah.
People talking trash, people doing this, people talking to who and whatever. I really don't care. You know what I mean? I have my full-time job. I have my family. I have my jiu-jitsu. And I have my guys at jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? Like that's all that matters to me.
Straight up.
And like I said, I love everyone at my school, but there are a couple guys like Rich who are, awesome to me. You know what I mean? They're people I associate with on a daily basis. But everyone at our school I consider family. You know what I mean? And they would do. It's funny because my daughter loves to go to MMA fights. I think more to socialize than to actually watch the fights. But and my wife hates it. My wife hates the people. There's always that drunk guy that makes fun of my name or says something. My wife is about ready to beat him up or whatever. But like my daughter loves it, and I let my 12-year-old daughter run around an MMA show, and I know I'm cool. Like I know no one's gonna touch that girl because I got Bob Buskey walking around off the chain. You know what I mean? You touch my daughter, you're gonna get Bob. That's for sure. And that's the kind of stuff that probably a lot of people don't know. I'm a pretty outgoing person, and I have a lot of friends, and I bring in a lot of people. Sometimes even people I probably shouldn't bring in, but that's what I get soft.
Absolutely. Gentlemen, do you guys have any sponsors or anyone you want to shout out to before we wrap this up?
If you want to learn how to do jiu-jitsu, come to Team Jacau, Scotia, 25 Mohawk Ave.
The undisputed king of the ultra heavyweights, or super heavyweights. I'm 4-0. We have never lost a super heavyweight fight ever. We're going to continue that. I want to shout out everyone who is a coach at our school, and even people who maybe not be coaches, but maybe someone that helps out. I'll name a few. Don't get mad if you're not there. Alan Gadoff, Al Pereno, Lex, Hakeem, Tom DePalma, Nick Solar, who? Marcel,
James Reeves,
Armando, like James Reeves, Professor Reeves, Professor Lex. I already said that.
Cloudhammer.
All those guys make my life easy. I like Rich said, I coach basketball. I have a full-time career. I had 2 kids. Got to make it to soccer games, basketball games, the whole 9 yards. That can't happen without those guys running the school.
Got the trophy wife just hanging out at home.
Listen, Carrie's gonna cut you for that. You know that.
Hey, no, I'm giving her a compliment.
But like I couldn't do that without Al holding down the fort, or Hakeem doing the kickboxing for us, and they don't get
Jarrell, Danny.
Yeah, Jarrell, Danny help Al run the kids program. Watch out. Our kids program is going to whoop somebody's butt one of these days. I got a group of girls that you don't want to mess with coming up. And they help, so I don't have to work the kids class, thank God. And I can do the paperwork, and I can order stuff, and I can organize things.
Worst experience in the world is teaching fucking kids class. And because it's my own fucking kid, that's why I quit. Remember? I'm like, I can't.
Yeah. It wasn't any other kid other than Rich's
Waylon. And I'm like, I can't do it anymore.
He won't stop. I quit. Okay, let's go. We gotta get.
Yeah, exactly. We gotta go home. Like he made me quit. He literally made me quit. My youngest one is a fucking wild ride, bro. Like,
but yeah, those guys are coming, and Bruce Cheney, who's gonna start our kids program in Clifton Park.
Hell yeah.
Thor is going to start teaching wrestling in Clifton Park. Hakeem's going to do some kickboxing out there. Clifton Park is going to be blown up in the next year. Like I said, there's all kinds of people who I just can't name them all. There's just too many of them. And it's amazing when we have people like Armando who moved away, people step up. We've never had something where we're like, hey, you know what? This person has left. They're moved on. They're not doing it anymore. They're injured. They're sick, whatever. We're going to close down that program. Never. It's always been, hey, I'll run that. Proof and choice is here is Rich.
Hey, Lex.
Rich ran our Friday night class, which was basically 30 minutes of basic jujitsu, covering stuff during the week that maybe people didn't understand, whatever the case is, and then an hour and a half of rolling. Like that started to become one of our most popular classes, not only for our students, but for other students who don't have classes on Friday nights to come and cross train and get together, kind of a social event. We thought we were gonna lose that Friday class, and then we had two people step up, so we actually opened up another class on Saturday for an open mat, and then we still have a Friday night class with Professor Lex. Saturday is going to be with Sarah Steiner, awesome women's coach. If you're a woman, you want to take a women's only class, which is Rich's favorite class, come down and roll with her.
Well, gentlemen, it's always a pleasure to chat with you. Rich, congratulations on another win. Nels, congratulations on another win as the coach. Final words, gentlemen.
Thank you so much for having us on, man. It was an honor to be asked. It's awesome to get back in touch with you. So thank you very much.
Always a pleasure.
It was a really, really fun time. I look forward to doing it again.
Yeah, we always enjoy doing this stuff with you and Ben Fields and whoever else wants us on. We'll do comedy, we'll do tap dancing, we'll do whatever you may need. Yeah,
$1 million man says everybody's got a price.
Our price is pretty cheap. I'll do it for cheeseburgers. I don't know about anyone else, but yeah, we've always enjoyed talking to you, Kyle. Of course, this is a great show. I've been on 2 or 3 times now. And like I said, if you ever need any other fighters, let us know. Jarrell, Corey, Aiden, Louise,
set it up after.
maybe we'll even do a big round table. And
we could get, I think, 10 guys up on this thing.
Oh, we easily can get 10 guys. We get up and comers. I got people, like I said, I got people no one even knows about. I got people over the age of 40 that know.
There we go.
Fox.
There we go. Let's line them up.
Oh yeah,
awesome. And we'll definitely talk about that after.
Yep. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed. We're able to stick with us for an hour and 37 minutes, but it's been a pleasure talking with Nels and Richie. We are signing off. This is Carroll's Corner MMA podcast. Make sure you check out mymmanews.com.